I wanted to preface this video just by saying if you clicked on this video, I want to say thank you, especially as a parent. You're doing the absolute best you can, and I wanted to tell you guys just to not be so hard on yourself. I have met so many parents that are like, oh my god, this is my fault. My child has mental illness or depressed or this and that. It's never your fault. It's never your fault, okay? Just, no, we're not even going there. It's never your fault. You're also trying to help them. That's all you need to do. And you're already doing that. So I want to thank you again if you clicked on this video because you're showing up, you're doing the best you can. So don't worry because it's all going to be okay. Hi guys, so I wanted to go over 7 or 8 common mistakes that I see parents make when they're struggling with a child that has depression or depressive symptoms. Like I say at the end, obviously this could be bipolar disorder, but assuming it's not, I will continue the video just addressing generalized depression. The first one is thinking your child can accurately articulate his or her needs. First thing I hear out of a depressed child's mouth, and the first thing that I said when I was struggling with depressive symptoms with Pyrrole was like, I wanted to be alone, or I needed to be alone. And I realized that at the time I was probably 10 or 12. I maybe had the IQ of a small garden squirrel. I could not articulate my feelings or what I really needed, what my true wants were. Okay, you're overestimating there. Your child does not know their accurate wants or needs. They do not know at least how to accurately articulate that to you. So assume the opposite. Seriously, I know that sounds crazy. If they say they need to be alone, what they really need is connection. If they say, I need to be out with my friends, I need to party, I need to constantly be out there socializing every Friday night, what they really need is to be alone with family. Go with the opposite, because when you're depressed in general, and especially if it's a child that has depression, they do not have a sense of self. Therefore, they do not have an accurate depiction or inner knowing of what they want or need. Okay? Does that make sense? So, moving on to the next mistake. Not having structure or not having a specific routine. So I can see I can see this really being a struggle if like you're homeschooled or something, but even kids that go to school still don't have structure. So make sure no matter how old they are, they could be my age 17, and you still need to enforce that idea. You are the parent and you have the power to say no, you will have this routine and you will have, at a certain time we'll do this, and they can obviously choose what they want to do at specific times, but just make sure they have structure, because this will get them, the first thing to go, especially with teenagers and depression, I notice, is just like hygiene. Like they can't get out of bed, they can't take a shower, they can't do just basic stuff like that. So structure will help tenfold, guys, tenfold. The third mistake, which is the first one that popped in my head, and I might make this the title. It's not normal for a child to have depression. Everyone says, oh yeah, it's so many kids go through it, especially when they have trauma and, this and that, and depression's just normal, we need to normalize it. It's not normal. It's very odd and very strange and very weird to have a child with depression. It is. It's not normal. I don't care if millions of children go through it, it's still not normal. And they still need help, and they still need a medical professional. I think a lot of people tend to believe if they're children, then parents can just take care of it on their own. That's not necessarily the case. I would say they do need a third party. They do need a therapist, or at the very least, some sort of medication. Maybe not an antidepressant, as you guys know, I'm team supplements, but them on at least something, or some sort of treatment, whether it's mindfulness and meditation or therapy only once in a while, just something to get that going. Because like it or not, they do need more than just you. They need an unbiased opinion sometimes. So that, as much as you think kids don't need therapy, kids do need therapy. I know that some therapists disagree with that. Like, no, we should wait until they're older, but I think they do. I think they do need therapy. So I wrote that down. That's kind of more of an opinion of me. Another common one that I get in the messages of parents of children with depression, I can't talk, is that they don't want help, therefore I'm not going to get them help because, oh, he or she will just refuse everything. They'll refuse their medication. They'll refuse their therapy. They'll refuse to sit down and talk with me. Here is my 4th or 5th tip. I don't know which one I'm on. You are the parent. Please, please, please remember that you are always the parent and they will always be the child. Meaning that you guys are not on the same level. It's not, oh, we're best friends, we're buddies, we're this and that. No, you are slightly above your child in the sense that you know more. I know the average adult knows way more than I do. I admit that. You know more, probably you watching this, if you're an adult, you know more than I do. This is just me as, giving you a child's perspective. Or a young adult, I should say. So you are always the guardian, the guide. You will maybe at some point have to force your child into therapy or force your child to get help. And that's just because they might be defiant. But at the end of the day, you know your child's wants and needs. Like I said, they don't have a sense of self, especially yet, at least, because their brain isn't fully developed. My brain isn't near fully developed. So they don't know really what they want or need, but you do because you are the parent. So just remember that and establish that. And kind of lay your foot down if you have to. Like I wrote down here, everyone says you can't force somebody to get help. While this is true for adults, it is not true for children. Force your child to get help. I mean, you can and should do that. If you know your child may be struggling mentally, get them help. It doesn't matter if they don't want it. They're the child, and they need to be listening to you. Another mistake is thinking that there is no reason for the depression, therefore they don't need professional help. I know, it seems like crazy, but to be honest with you guys, at first glance, I didn't really have a reason to be depressed when I was depressed. And that was just because it was pyrrole disorder, and that's what I want to kind of introduce you guys into. It could be possibly genetic. It could be they are homesick. It could be a certain circumstance. You guys move around a lot. Maybe it's the child lives in a divorced home. Stuff like that affects it, that you think, oh, everything's great. Maybe you even have a good relationship with your ex-husband or wife, and you think, well, my child has no reason to be depressed. It may be divorced, but we're on good terms. It's still a traumatic event. It's still a huge change. So even if you think by your definition that they have a great life and that they don't deserve to be depressed, I can assure you that they're not having a great time still. They are not having